Hello guys, this is Desmond Gray of Gallant Integrated Media. The title of my episode today is Why Many People Fail, Part 2. Before I proceed, please, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please help us do subscribe. Click the notification bell so whenever we upload a video or when we are live on air, you will be alerted. And do us another favor of sharing and dropping your comments to help us propagate in what we do. Thanks so much for doing so. So going to the topic of today, why many people fail, part 2. You see, I always want to say this and drawing reference to knowing the truth, identifying with the truth. In the last episode, I actually emphasized on the bitter truth. The truth is not always sweet, and that's why so many does not work with it. But we definitely have to work with the truth. And that draws me to the extrapolation of Herbert Agar, American journalist and historian. And he says, the truth that makes men, I quote, the truth that makes men free is for the most part the truth which men prefer not to hear. End of quote. You see, every human wants to excel. Every hardworking human being wants to achieve success, which is excellence. But the difference here is every result has a process that brings about it. Every destination has a process at which you get to it. For instance, you want to be a lawyer. You must subject yourself to the study of law. It's one thing to desire to be a lawyer and another thing to desire to be a good lawyer. So going through the process of studying law makes you a lawyer. Becoming a good lawyer is also your own determination and decision. That means you don't do what every other lawyer is doing. You've done what everybody that wants to be a lawyer has done by studying law. Then to do what it takes to be a good lawyer is now your personal decision, because you can stop at being a lawyer without being a good lawyer or a better lawyer or the best lawyer. But adding best to that lawyer that you've already become is your personal decision. We live in a world where many do a whole lot of things, and we live this lifestyle of following where the crowd is. This is the main reason many failures happens. Going by the crowd, doing what everybody is doing, what is in vogue. If you look at the world today, you discover that morality is fast disappearing. And since the disappearance of morality, a whole lot of immorality begins to thrive. And most of us feast on these immoralities. You want to be a doctor, you must subject yourself to the study of medicine. Same as you want to be a journalist, you must subject yourself to the study of journalism. These are the process. People want to excel, but wouldn't want to subject themselves to that process of excellence. Instead, they want to cut corners. The bitter truth here now is that you have to subject yourself to the process of excellence. Because excellence doesn't just come, it doesn't just happen. It comes through a process. Just like you want to travel somewhere. That place you want to travel to is the destination. How to get that place is the process. Are you going by road? Are you traveling on air? Are you going by sea? These are the processes that most of the time people doesn't want to align themselves with, but you want the result. The result cannot just come without the process. And that process is that truth that you and I should know. You see, the bitterness of the truth has made it an available commodity that only few wants to consume. Look around the society today. You see a whole lot of people. You look around your environment, so many people living around the environment, but only few are succeeding. Why are these few succeeding? These are the few that chooses to work with the bitter truth. These are the few that chooses to subject themselves to the process. People want to always achieve it quick and fast without minding the fact that does it actually come quick and fast? Does it actually come without a process? Does excellence or result all happen without working for it? So the cardinal reason for failure is ability to absorb the bitter truth. Because by knowing the truth, you know that it needs hard work to succeed. By knowing the truth, you come to terms with the fact that you must be perseverant. You must be persuasive. You must be resilient to the factors that subjects you down, to the factors that brings you down, to the factors that affects the result negatively. You must be resilient to these factors. That is the bitter truth. The truth is always a tool available at the corridor of excellence. You get the truth, you proceed with the process, and you get to the excellent destination, which is the result or the end target. But many a time we want to cut corners. You see people engaging because they want to cut corners, engaging in frivolities, engaging in criminalities, scams, fraudulent activities, and illegitimate engagements. All because they want to cut corners. At the end of the day, you see them ending in jail. 10 years, 20 years down the line. 20 years has gone out of your life. Something you would have, at the end of the day, you still come back again to key to that process. Can you be a doctor without studying medicine? That's the bitter truth here. You cannot be a doctor without studying medicine. You cannot be a lawyer without studying law. You cannot be a pilot without studying piloting. So it must come through the process. You wouldn't want to come out with first class in your uni without reading more than everyone else, without researching more than everyone else. First class result cannot just come. This is the bitter truth. You must know that truth. You see, I'm also in love with this extrapolation of Eleanor Roosevelt, the wife of former American President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And she says, I quote, "Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people." Many of us engage in discussing humans like us, people like us, for no reason. Many people spend hours on phone talking about people. The next talks about events. Very few talks about ideas, and everything that leads people to greatness comes from ideas. Everything that takes people to their destination comes from ideas. Everything that gives us the result we always desire comes from ideas. But many a time we don't engage in discussions of ideas other than in discussions of people and events. Watch the way the world is going today. It looks like what is reigning now is things that does not encourage that does not provide the result we need. In our relationship today, it's a process. You must be patient for things to work in your relationship. You must sacrifice a lot. Oftentimes you're right. Your human right could even be the reason why you're not succeeding. Your human right, because you hold so stiff to that your human right. You still see those people in position to execute or regulate this human right. You still see them denying their own human right. They're not forced out of it. They personally decide to ignore this their human right, sacrifice it just to achieve a result, which comes from sacrifice. If sacrifice is all you need to succeed and you refuse sacrifice, you are not in conformity with the reality and the truth. Because that sacrifice could be very hard for you to sacrifice. It could be very hard for you to make that sacrifice that you are required to make just to get to the target. And most of us are like that. I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. I'm not a saint here. But these are the reason why many people, many fail today. Watch it. You see, I don't want to say so many things here, honestly speaking. But the truth here is we should know the truth. If I want to go biblical, I will tell you that it's in the Bible that you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. That means if it takes you 100 years to know the truth, that's when your freedom begins. There's no shortcut to this. There's no shortcut to excellence. It's a process that we must subject ourselves to it. If you are a student watching me, you need to read to make a good result. If you are a businessman watching me, you need to be hardworking, you need to be calculative, you need to research about the business you do. You need to do consultations to authorities that are meant to consultants that leverages on your result. Your relationship is shaking. You need to consult consultants and the relationship experts. It's not seeking roadside advice. But you need to work with the truth. You need to open your heart up to accept the bitter truth, to work with it. Because the bitter truth is straightforward. Talking to you as a journalist, if I want to process a news, there are criteria at which a news can be processed. And that criteria is the process. For instance, what you read on the newspapers has gone through the process of 5 W's and the H, which means what happened, who is involved, personality profile here. Then when did it happen, the timeliness, where did it happen, the environment and proximity. Then why did it happen, the reason, and how did it happen. These are the process to produce the news. Outside this is the bitter truth the journalist should know to work with. And your news cannot be a news if it doesn't go through this process. The same as what you are doing today. What are you doing? What are the process geared at getting you that result you need? If you ever deny working with that process, you'll be denied the result. It's not man-made, it's personally made. There's no embargo anywhere in the society, anywhere in the world of man, that many should not succeed. The only embargo we suffer here is self-inflicted embargo. The embargo we inflicted on ourselves by our refusal to work with the bitter truth. That's the only embargo. You see, it looks like, oh, the whole world is changing. Yes, the world is changing. The reason the world is changing is because of innovations. And there are people involved in these innovations. You could be the next innovator. You could be the next inventor. Have you ever realized this? The bitter truth. Identifying with that bitter truth. You can't cut corners with it. You cannot. You cannot cut corners and I want to achieve excellence. It's a process. We must go through that process. It's good with you. It does not resonate with you. But that's the process. You don't like it, you like it. That's the process and it does not change. The standard cannot be lowered. You must go through that process. So don't get frustrated. Don't get depressed. Subject yourself to the process. And you will get yourself out of the list of the poor. You get yourself out of the list of the failures. I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. Every one of us here wants to achieve greatness. But that greatness comes with a price. And that price is you must identify and absorb that bitter truth. That's the price to pay for every greatness. Academic greatness, career greatness, relationship greatness, business greatness. Whatever you do that you desire greatness, there is a process. And that process must be subjected to. There's no cutting corners about it. That's the way it is. And that's the way it should be. Things cannot change that way you want it to change. There is something you must do to get something. There is something you must give to receive. There is something you must sacrifice to make a headway. There is something you need to drop. And when people tell you this, it looks like they've hurt you. Oftentimes, they wouldn't want to say that to you because no one wants to hurt you. But that bitter truth, identify it yourself. Get it yourself and absorb it so that you not accuse anybody of like talking down on you or like abusing your human right. What is this right that we talk about if our ends are not meeting? What is this right that we talk about if we are not achieving the result of what we do? What this right we talk about? I'm not against anything human right, but what I'm telling you here is oftentimes you're so much doggedness with this your human right is the reason why you are where you are today. Nobody is ready to abuse your human right, but be the one to drop this your human right. Oftentimes you need to say sorry to make a headway. You not say sorry because your human right is involved. Because just look at it this way. You come out in the morning and see your neighbor. Good morning. Anybody can say good morning to anybody. But because you are so immune, because you are so consumed with this your human right, oftentimes you want your manager, your boss to say good morning to you. I'm not saying that thing is wrong, But those things that makes us heavy for no reason, those things that makes us so full of ourselves for no reason, that affects our journey to greatness. We are meant to drop it ourselves and let it be the sacrifice, let it be the price we pay. Don't wait for anybody to do those things for you. Do it yourself and get the result. I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. And honestly speaking, this will be the best place to leave it for today. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel, and bye for now.